Hey fellas, it's Christmas Commish here, coming at ya for a little week. 16 of NFL action. Of course here, as you can see, got a nice little ambiance. Wild Hogs, old Bobby P. Got a little fireplace going here. Hopefully it's not too blinding for y'all, doesn't get too hot. If you see me catch on fire, let me know, all right? And then we got our tree over here. Lots of wonderful presents. Oh, shit. If I could get my fat ass out of the way. We got birthday presents. Erica's birthday is Friday, and then Christmas presents. And got to separate the two. The birthday presents don't go underneath the tree. Okay, everybody knows the rules. So yeah, of course, I don't love that lighting there. That's a little bit better. Looking like Harvey Two-Face over here. Looking like, hey, I've looked like him before IRL. Am I right? Anyways, yeah, the Hogs, they beat somebody on Saturday. Who do we play? Was it OU? Was that just this last Saturday that we played them? I can't remember it. Bradley. We played Bradley in Little Rock. A little close. Covered easily. Excuse me, in the second half. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a recap of last week's games here. We'll start off, of course, with our Nestle Pure Life game of the week. The first of our two playoff matchups. The Battle of the Dillons, there can be only one, and it was lived up to the hype. It was easily the best game of the weekend. D-Shade was down about 10 points going into Monday night. He just had Aaron Jones left as his last bullet in the chamber, and Aaron Jones got 20 points. Great game for him. He's really had a very good season, especially here down the stretch. Has been a very consistent producer for Mr. D-Shade. And for Wilson, 118, not a terrible point total. Pretty respectable, actually. But again, he gets to 118 largely on the back of Mahomes, who's just been just a monster this season. I mean, the lowest point total he's put up any one week is 22 points. And you're going to love, or 20 points, I'm sorry. You're going to love that production. I mean, 37, 32, 30. I mean, he has more games over 30 points this year than he has over, less than 30 points. Let's just say that. But unfortunately for Wilson, he got cute. He benched David Montgomery. Miles Sanders didn't do anything. If he put in David Montgomery, he would have won. He would have been advancing. You hate to see that. You hate to see that whenever, you have somebody on your bench that if you plugged in, you would have won. Now, he did smart play there, putting in McKinnon, who's just been a monster ever since he got off my team, of course. But not a lot of production from the wide receiver room. Schultz was wide open for a touchdown earlier in the game, didn't go to him. It would have made it a little bit closer, still maybe not quite enough. And Chubb has, largely been a pretty big disappointment here this last month. I mean, it's under double digits in 4 of his last 5 games to end the season. And good thing the camera wasn't pointed the other way. You guys would have saw something you shouldn't see. So, congrats to D-Shade. First year in the league, first playoff win. Unfortunately for Wilson, he is one and done. Was able to stave off and keep. Huh?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Well, you're looking.
You said saw something you didn't see, so I'm like, oh, well then.
Yeah.
You see all this?
No. They don't even need to see that.
Okay.
So that's too much. Too revealing. You got to be in a parka for me to show you on this. I don't want anybody getting any ideas. Got too many single guys in this league.
Yeah.
All right. where was I? Wilson. Yeah, good job. Good effort. Better luck next year. Okay. And then our other playoff game, Duncan and Ford. Duncan, not a great game from him, 108, but Ford absolutely just shit all over himself. Was 85 points without Kyler Murray. You know, he didn't have the cojones to play Kenneth Walker, didn't play Evan Ingram. You know, just not terrible production from anybody, but just, you know, not really good production from anybody either. So, you know, and credit for Duncan. You know, you just, a win is a win. He squeaked his back-to-back years. Duncan is the 6th seed, sneaking his way into the playoffs. Last year he was holding on for dear life, I think, to get into the playoffs. But really, he got carried by Justin Jefferson's 30-point performance, and James Conner's been a monster for him, 18 points. You know, Jacobs and Mixon, a little underwhelming. You know, Rodgers was underwhelming as well. But hey, Duncan's still got a chance. He's got his work cut out for him this week, but he's still got a chance. You never know. Anything can happen in the offs. All right, and then turning our eye to the horse-ass bracket. So, Nick, your co-commissioner, assistant to the commissioner, council member, gave a very good idea, I thought, to how we can rework the horse-ass in the future. And actually, this Reddit league that Blaine and Ford and I are in, it was the loser bracket was set up this way. He didn't have to do any additional work, and he changed. Oh, it is here. Okay, well, I'm committed now, so that's fine.
If your butt gets bothered.
That's all right. I got a tough ass. I'm a tough ass. Hard ass. So, yeah. Thank you. Basically, how it would work in the losers bracket, as of right now, technically, if you win one game, you're pretty close to being safe, but not necessarily, as Savoy found out last year. This change would essentially make it to where the 11 seed and the 12 seed have a bye, and I know what you're thinking, Laz, why would we give the two worst teams a bye? That's great news for them. Not so fast, my friend. Essentially, to advance along the horse-ass bracket, you would need to lose. If you win, you're off the bracket. You're done. You're safe. So 7 would play 10, 8 would play 9. The winner of those two games, done. Don't play again the last 2 weeks, okay? The loser of those two games would go on to play the 11 and the 12, okay, with the highest seed remaining playing the 12 and the lowest remaining seed playing the, you get it, okay? Backwards, one way or the other. The best team remaining would play the 12, and the worst team remaining would play the 11. And then again, you winner of that game, boom, done. You're out. Okay, so now there's only two teams who haven't won a game yet, whether they've gone 0-2 or 0-1. Okay, so this is why it's crucial for them to not have a bye, the 11 and the 12, because it takes away one opportunity to get a win. So really, if you don't have a bye, you get 3 chances to get a win. If you do have a bye, you're one of those worst two teams, you have only 2 chances to get a win. A win, and you're safe. Really like it. Think we're going to implement it. Whether we move to Sleeper or not, Sleeper would make it easier, but I could finagle it through ESPN if necessary. So, first game here, really good game. Both of these teams deserve to win. Razorback Revival and Cooter Gain. Nick showed that he deserved that last playoff spot, maybe more than the two guys who got in ahead of him. Dropped 155. Huge game from Dalvin Cook. Huge game from Justin Fields, A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle. Pittman got back on track. Good game from Garrett Wilson. Zeke had a solid game. You know, he got 16 points from Higgins on the bench. 13 points from Dobbins on the bench. I mean, this guy's loaded. He's safe. I mean, it's just with the 3 lowest scoring teams in the horse ass scoring as low as they did. Even if Nick were to go 0-2, which he probably won't, he'll probably go 3-0. Then he, I think he's safe to say he's not going to win it. And JD, while he did lose, he is still at risk of going 0-3 129. If he can get one win, he's got himself in a pretty good position. So I think JD and Nick are probably pretty okay. And, of course, Nick's better because he has a win and JD doesn't. But JD is probably going to get a free win this week, so we'll get to that later. Next here we got doesn't contribute versus if you lose to me, you really suck. Great showing from Craig as well, 131 to 86. 40-point from Kirk Cousins. Ramondre had 25 points. Lamb had 20 points. Godwin had 20 points. So really, really solid showing there from Craig. And for Savoy, well, he's 0-1 and not a great point total. Not what you want to see. Now, this is very reminiscent of last year's Horse Ass Bracket, which I was also a part of, the only council member who was a part of it last year. People forget that there was like 3 or 4 teams, I think, in the Horse Ass Bracket last year who were sub 100. I mean, it was brutal week 15 last year, and it's kind of very similar this year. So, suffice to say, people can still, even if you have a bad week, you can bounce back and get yourself out of the horse ass contention. But you got your work cut out for you. So, outside of Zay Jones dropping 35 points out of nowhere, if he had just rolled with Gabe Davis, I mean, we're looking at a very, very poor week. I mean, we're looking at like a 60-point week from Savoy. So, but hey, I mean, Zay's been a monster down here the last few weeks. Like wide receiver 1, who would have guessed? And the rest, Jamal Williams has fallen off the face of the earth. Yeah, of course, whenever we inevitably play in the horse ass game next week, he's gonna save 3 touchdowns right from my ass. Olave, not great. Hawkinson, mediocre. Ayuk, mediocre. Watson came back down to earth, and Hunt came back, and Watson sucks. So, right now it's Savoy, and we'll get to the other team here in a second. One minute here. Brody's crying. Oh, goodness gracious, Brody. Go. Hear that fire crackle? Oh. All right. So that brings us to our dog shit matchup of the week. They're up all over themselves. The 2 lowest scoring teams. Oh, no, I take that back. Ford did have just slightly less than Connor. Stumble down, Dixon, fall, try to use a Discover card as your ID, end up in the emergency room looking like Harvey Dent. Team of the week, I hate football. 74 points. Plunk puts up a paltry 86. Pretty piss poor. Both of us probably deserve to lose this week. Plunk is by no means out of the woods with an 86-point performance. That's if he goes 0-2 and these last 2 games, he'll be in trouble. He'll be in trouble. Nothing from Danny Dimes. Really, Jamar Chase and DJ Moore and Matt Collins were kind of his saviors. They all each got a touchdown. Jamar had 20. DJ Moore had 18. I put up 74 points with 2 guys getting goose eggs. Yet another week of Justin Herbert being outscored by Geno Smith, and Geno Smith didn't even have a good game. Swift was okay. Cordero was okay. Now he's hurt. Kirk was okay. Thielen was okay. Pierce, nothing. Trash. Freiermuth wasn't even targeted. So, yeah. Sucks. I could have put in if I put in Hodgkins and Gus Edwards, I guess I would have won, but whatever. It's pretty pathetic. It's pretty dire straits here. Herbert's been mediocre at best, bad at worst for Herbert. since he's been on my team. Everett's fine. He's not, whatever. He doesn't kill me most weeks, but 8 points, whatever. Freiermuth, bad. He'd been doing so well, too. Just bad. I don't know how I don't know. Sucks. So, anyways, you guys did vote. We reseeded. It was supposed to be Savoy and myself facing off this week in the horse ass bracket. In an effort to try to force that matchup to happen, reseeded. So we'll get into the matchups here. We'll go ahead and break those down first. I'm now playing JD. Okay, again, it is still 2 battles of 0-1 teams, but JD is, even without Jonathan Taylor, still has a very, very good team. He's got Mostert, he's got Rachaad White, he's got Najee Harris. All great. Deontay Johnson, I've been seeing all these stats, how he's got the most targets in the league without a touchdown. I guarantee you he's scoring a touchdown this week. Raiders suck. Juju's probably going to have a great game. Hollywood with Trace McSorley throwing the ball. I don't know about that. But, I don't know. He's projected to win 106-100. If Patterson doesn't play, he didn't practice today, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll throw in Gus Bus, even though he's been pretty dog shit. I'm not going to play Alec Pierce this week, and he's going to drop 20 points on my bench. So that's fun. Anyways, he doesn't have Lockett, he doesn't have JT, but I just have a tough time seeing him not winning this game. So, all right, next here we got the we're not going to break down the cataclysmic catches and the fat bastards playing for nothing but pride in the record books. So I don't know, Wilson, why not? Next here, you got doesn't contribute, Razorback Revival. Very important game. This is a game that guarantees, if you get 2 wins, guarantees you will not win horse ass. Guaranteed, okay? So, I do think that Nick wins this game. I think Nick wins this game fairly easily. He's got Goddard back, even though he does have, what's-his-face, Gardner Minshew throwing him the ball, Minshew magic. I think he'll be all right. So we'll go with Nick in that one. And then our final horse-ass game here, again, big game. Connor loses this game, and he's in trouble. But really, if Savoy wins this game, that puts into play a 1-win team winning the horse ass. So, huge game for Connor. He's projected to lose 100-88 at the moment. Doesn't have a quarterback with any points right now. Did not practice today. Lamar did not, but hasn't ruled him out yet, but probably won't play. If he doesn't play, no, he has Skoranek on his team already. Cut Skoranek. He's done. He doesn't have a quarterback on his team at the moment. Well, he has Danny Dimes. Yeah, Danny Dimes against Minnesota is not bad. Not bad. I think you can live with that if Lamar doesn't go. Savoy has turned his back on Deshaun, put in the Goffster. Got Zach Moss, going with him. So, that's solid. He'll probably be the Deion Jackson show. Not playing Gabe Davis. Can't trust him. Zay Jones is probably going to have Sauce Gardner on him. Probably not going to do shit. I want to see it happen, so we're going to go plunk in that one. I want to see this square off. And either Savoy gets to keep his horse ass trophy, or he beats me and gets to, pass me the torch that way. So, all right, let's see here. The playoff games. What's going to be the game of the week? Both are pretty close, but one of these teams doesn't have a quarterback who's projected to score any points. All right, we'll start off here with Shade Dynasty and Discount Double Check. Shade's projected to win 120 to 111. Again, that's without Rip having any points projected at the quarterback position for the moment. Rip does not have a quarterback on his roster at the moment. It seems like there's still a slight possibility that Hurts might play. He didn't practice today, but he might play. Who knows? He's a tough son of a gun versus Dak Prescott against Philly. I'm going to push this one. I don't like Dak. I think he's a lame guy. I think he's not that good of a quarterback. I think he's pretty mid. He's a mid quarterback who's a square, a stick in the mud, if you were. I'm not going to pick him. Whoever Rip throws in there, whatever. We're going to go with Rip's quarterback in that one. Battle of the running backs. You got Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard versus Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. Not even close. Great running backs D-Shade has in Aaron Jones and Tony Pollard, but they're no Christian McCaffrey, no Derrick Henry. And just imagine how bad Rip would be this week if he did not have McCaffrey. If he was stuck with Kupp, Hurts being out, Debo being out, no McCaffrey, it'd be a bad deal. This would be a bloodbath. But he doesn't. He does have him. So, McCaffrey managed not to get hurt and Kupp did. The exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen when I made that trade. Battle of the wide receiver. You got DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Drake London. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. Versus Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, and Marquise Goodwin. Just hoping for a long bomb of a touchdown. I got to be honest, I'm not really loving any of these guys. Devontae has been very good as of late. Cooper will have Lattimore on him. I guess I'll give the slight edge to Rip just because of Tyreek. But I don't love it. And then battle of the tight end, Kelsey Waller. And battle of the flex, Latavius Murray and Leonard Fournette. Boy, buddy. We'll go Fournette. Playoff Lenny. So ultimately, I think it's a very close game, and it's really going to come down to, can Rip get production enough from his quarterback, whether that's Hurts playing or he picks up some scrub off the street like, who's even out there right now? A Kenny Pickett or a Russell Wilson or a Trace McSorley. Yuck. Sam Darnold, maybe. It's pretty gross. Good luck with that. I think Rip still does find a way. We're going to go with Rip. All right, and then that brings us to our game of the week. Let's see. I'll be right back. Hey, get out of those presents. Get out. Oh, our Crumble Cookies game of the week. Crumble Cookies, bringing friends and family together over the world's best box of cookies. I've got the 4-pack here. Nice variety of holiday flavors. You can see that. One of them just happens to be missing. Don't know how that happened. What was it? Chocolate chip cookie. There you go. We got the hot chocolate cookie, the eggnog cookie, and of course the red velvet cookie, my favorite. They're apparently one of these cookies. It's like 4 servings. Like a fourth of it is a serving, basically. So that's how you know it's good. It's good for you. 'Tis the season. They come out hot and fresh. At least a couple of them do. Crumble Cookies are the official cookie of the Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League. Get a little bit of red velvet here. Cheers. Chase it with a little chocolate chip. Yum. This season. Anyways, that is Kickers Lives Matter and Swamp Donkeys, a game that was projected to be much closer than I would have guessed on paper. Okay, Blaine's only projected to win 131 to 125. Battle of the quarterback, you got Aaron Rodgers down there in Miami versus Josh Allen in the wintry tundra bear weather. I hear it's going to be bear weather in Chicago this weekend. And I don't know if y'all believe in intangibles very much. I do. I believe in karma. I believe in putting in the time and you will be rewarded, even though I put in most. I won't say that. I don't put in as much time as some other people. I put in a lot, but certainly not as much as others. Maybe that's why I'm being punished. But, Blaine's not going to be watching the games this weekend, really. Fighting for his life as the number one seed, the first time he's ever been the number one seed. And he's going to miss it. You'd hate to see it if something bad were to happen to Blaine's team because he wasn't able to watch. You'd hate to see it. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. All right? Anyways, it's Josh Allen, right? It's Josh Allen. We're going to go with him. Battle of the running backs. You got Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne versus Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs versus Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne. Some tougher matchups for Blaine's running backs here in Minnesota and the Jets. But similarly tough matchups for Duncan as well. So I think I'm going to push this one. I'm going to give this one a good solid push down the stairs. Next here we got Battle of the Wide Receiver. Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, Darius Slayton versus Amon-Ra, the Sun Praise the Sun, DeAndre Hopkins, and Keenan Allen. Indianapolis has a frustratingly solid defense where they usually, outside of last week's debacle against Minnesota, don't really give up a lot of fantasy production, even though they're not a very good team. So I worry a little bit about the Chargers. They're just not that good this year. I think they're going to muck it up, make it ugly, and I think Keenan gets a little limited. Hopkins is going to have Carlton Davis on him, more likely than not. Trace McSorley throwing him the ball, not a great recipe for success. But Amon-Ra should do fairly well against Carolina's struggling secondary. And then, you turn your gaze to Duncan. It's really Justin Jefferson. That's the name of the game for him. Jeudy, ancillary piece. Maybe he'll have a little bit of production. He's been good actually the last 3 weeks. 10 points, 33 points, 14 points, very solid. And before he got hurt, he was putting up 18, 16 points. He's really been pretty solid throughout this season. And Darius Slayton is playing one of the worst secondaries in the league right now. So, and he's always prone to boom. He lives for those big game moments in the fantasy playoffs. That's for certain. Or if he's playing me. So it's tough. On paper as a whole, how could you even think this is tough, Laz? How? It's Amon-Ra, it's DeAndre Hopkins, it's Keenan Allen. But I think if you look at the big picture, you look at the matchups here, I think it's closer than it might appear. And I think this is where, if Duncan's going to have a chance in this game, it's going to have to be right here. He's going to have to get big games from Slayton. He's going to have to get a big game from Jeudy. He's going to have another monster game from Justin Jefferson. And hope that those Keenan and Hopkins underperform. Hope that Carolina, again, it's another one. It's very similar to the Colts. They kind of muck it up sometimes, eat away a lot of that fantasy production. So I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Duncan's wide receivers. I think he can get it done. I think he's going to have the magic. Battle of the tight end. You got Chig Okonkwo and Cade Otton, a couple of rookies who were on nobody's radar to start the year and redraft leagues. And yeah, I guess we'll go with Okonkwo. I like him. even though Arizona is statistically one of the worst defenses of all time against the tight ends, I'm going to go with Okonkwo. And Malik Willis probably will be throwing him the ball, and he's not that great. I'm going to go with Cade Otton. We're going to go with Cade. And then battle of the flex, you got Austin Ekeler, James Conner, juicy, spicy matchup. But Eckler's a beast. I mean, Conner's been playing very well, but we're going to have to go with Ekeler in that one. So, ultimately, I think it's very close. If Duncan can win the battle of the wide receivers, he will win this game. And I know I picked him to win the battle of the wide receivers. Not so fast, my friend. Blaine's going to win this one easily. Blaine's going to win this one going away. All right, done. And set off a great matchup here in the finals. All right, so that's it. That's all I got this week, fellas. Of course, it's Christmas time. I hope all of y'all that are traveling, travel safe. Have a nice, wonderful, joyous Christmas season. Merry Christmas. In this house, we say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays. Just kidding. Say whatever you want to say. I don't care. But, like I said, as always, I'm thankful for you guys. This league wouldn't be what it is without you guys. I do my best to try to hold us all together. But ultimately, if all 11 of y'all didn't buy in the way that you did, it doesn't matter what I could do. I could be the best commissioner in the world like I am, and it's still, it wouldn't matter. If I was commissioning Nick's league, it wouldn't matter because those guys don't give a flip, right? The Reddit league wouldn't matter, right? So, like I said, I'm always thankful for you guys. I think this, hopefully we can get this 12 to stick for ages and decades to come until we pass it down when we're old and gray to our children. So, with that being said, love you guys. Good luck this week to everybody still playing for something. And as always, whoop big.